Great, Dickie. Thank you. So after that, we're going to talk about courses. Think about taking certain rigorous courses like AP and other courses like that. Then the SAT, so the admissions test. Is it required for the university you're going to? And think about where to take it, how to prepare for it. Also thinking about finance. So what is your financial plan? What are you prepared to pay for to go study in the United States? Then after that, after you've got all of that plan taken care of, you can talk about applying to the university. So sending in your grades, your essays, letters of recommendations, all that. So what does it take? And then after a few months, hearing back from the universities about if you were accepted and making a decision where you'd like to go. And then once you have been accepted, what does it take to actually fulfill all of the paperwork to get your visa and everything? So here we're going to highlight this is not an exact science, but we generally recommend splitting these things up in a 2-year period so that you're not cramming everything into just a 6-month period or a 1-year period. So it helps you get a little bit more organized. And we will touch on a lot of these things within the presentation, so we'll get into more detail of them. So second section, so before you get started, so figure out what is most important to you. So there's some questions that you can ask yourself. We're putting in this define your priorities. So what are your long-term goals? What are your interests? What do you want to do in the future? Why study in another country? That's also important. And how do you feel about being away from your family and friends? So there's a lot of questions to ask. So Dickie, could you talk a little bit about why is it important for students to do this step before they get in their search? Mm-hmm. Right, right. Yeah, there's a lot of things you need to be aware of before you actually start your search. So, um, going on to our third section. So this is the section which we'll spend most of the presentation on today. What factors to consider when choosing a university. So there's a lot of factors to consider, and we'll talk about those, including search costs, financial aid, university resources, and then ultimately we'll spend a lot of time going back to what is the best university for you. So the United States has thousands of universities, all very well qualified, with great resources, with great programs, but also very different. So that's something that you can be aware of during your search is actually asking yourself, what is this right for me, or does it not have the programs that I'm looking for? So first, when choosing a university, we've written a few questions again to ask yourself as you consider looking for and choosing a university. Dickie, what are some important things that, I mean, you've been talking to international students for decades now. What are some things that you know, some common questions that usually come up for students, and some things that they can consider when looking for a university?